What's up, anomalies? Make sure to subscribe if you want to become an anomaly. I know, I caught you out. I made you subscribe inside the intro, not even after the intro. I'm so smart. Anyway, so I've been thinking, wow, I've been gaining so many subscribers. Thank you. I need to make a good video so more people subscribe, but I haven't had any good ideas. But then, last night, I was meditating because, yes, I'm a PogChamp man, and I realized, holy shit, I should do a game theory before fucking game theory. That'll get me like 2 views. So today we're going to be looking quickly through the 1.16 lore. How does 1.16 change Minecraft's lore? Now, if you don't know, I'm using the basis of Matpat Theory. People used to live in the overworld, they went to the nether for some reason to help people or to maybe escape some kind of evil force. They went to the nether, built everything. Wither skeletons are their dead corpses and soul sands is their souls, and that's why you create the wither, by combining all of the souls with all of the heads, and you basically resurrect the dead, and it's really bad. So let's just continue on from that. Piglins. So basically pigmen were replaced, and so Matpat's theory is kind of broken now. But in fact, it isn't. It actually makes Matpat's theory that pigs came from the overworld and then evolved into the nether even better, because piglins are the pigs that were kept in bastions, and they learned from bastions have nether wart, which is what transformed the pigs into the piglins, right? Because the nether wart is all magical and stuff. They used that, but as they evolved, they were surrounded by a society, because obviously they didn't build the bastions, because they're not actually the piglin bastions, they're bastion remnants. They're remnants of the old bastions. So the pigs that were kept inside the bastions learned how to become a society, and kind of became a society, but more like anarchism, where everyone is kind of doing their own thing and there isn't really a king. The hoglins, on the other hand, are actually the pigs that ran away, or maybe escaped, or were killed, or sent out. They fed on crimson roots and crimson fungi, and so they became more aggressive, and they became a little bit less societal. Now, what about bastions? Why are the piglins in the bastions in the first place? Well, the fortresses and bastions, both things to contain, to protect. So it was obvious that they were running away from something deadly. But why did they make bastions out of blackstone? Which, you know, and why don't they appear in the delta, which is where blackstone comes from? Well, I think the delta is a little bit too dangerous because it's basically old volcanoes that exploded. But, side tangent, if blackstone and, you know, basalt is created when lava and ice meet with soul sand, does that mean that a lot of people were killed in the basalt deltas by an explosion? Their souls turned to soul sand, the lava touched them, and there was ice in the nether, and it created these biomes? That could be pretty interesting, that there was ice in the nether originally. There was some kind of maybe ice biome. Anyway, so the reason why it's made out of blackstone is because blackstone is one of the hardest materials in the nether. I know it's pretty easy to mine because it's just like stone, but think about it, netherrack is super easy to mine, and so is netherrack gold. So blackstone, at the time, this was probably the first thing they ever made. Because they're remnants, they were the first kind of protection. Then they moved on to fortresses. But just think about it, you know? The blackstone is the hardest material that they could get easily. So they got the material and made a defense out of it. And after a while they left the piglins to their things. Possibly even the piglins made them leave. Maybe the piglins loved gold so much and someone mined the gold or something and they forced them out or something like that. Very strange. Now, what about the warped forest? Now, this is something that I have kind of had a strange, you know, why are endermen spawning in the warped forest? But why doesn't anything live in the warped forest? I mean, nothing lives there. There's no music for it. It's pretty crazy. And I think I know why. Because of the enderman, the forest, which used to be a crimson forest, became warped because of the enderman. That is why creatures just avoid warped fungi, because it has that kind of end energy expelling out of it. What if enderman slowly died and the ender pearls kind of fused into the ground and warped the world around it, made everything kind of backwards? That could be pretty interesting. That would also explain why there isn't blue netherwort, but there's blue netherwort blocks, because they were normal netherwort, but they became warped by the Enderman. So why do piglins have stuff that isn't gold? Why do they have crying obsidian? Why do they have ender pearls? I mean, they can't get into the warp forest, and they don't attack endermen, so why would they have ender pearls? Well, I think it's because it was what was left behind by the previous society. At least that's my opinion. There's not much evidence for this, but there's also not much evidence to the contrary, so why do piglins have gold? Well, gold is the only naturally generating resource in the nether. You can see that we have diamonds and saddles and horse armor in the nether fortress, which proves that players existed there. But I guess they brought that over from the overworld. But the only naturally generating stuff is gold, which is why the piglins only can mine gold. But what about the Soul Sand Valley? This is kind of a creepy idea, but I think the Soul Sand Valley is a war zone. I mean, isn't soul sand trapped souls? Imagine the amount of pain that must have been. Soul Sand Valleys have so much soul sand and soul soil. Jesus, it must have been a war. But against what? Did the Wither exist at that point? Did the Wither kill millions? Or thousands at least? Or was it a war between people? I'm not quite sure, but that is definitely one of the biggest mysteries. And of course I had to go, well, what about striders? Striders are natural. At least that's what I think. I think striders are just completely natural generating beings. They just kind of existed in the nether. But something that I have not been able to figure out is how could they... Why did they like warped mushrooms? I mean warped fungi? I don't understand. Like, warped fungi is so against, you know? It's so aggressive. It kind of makes me have a little bit of unease to the striders. Could the striders, now this is a very far out theory and I just thought of it, could the striders be from the end? And if so, could they be shulkers? Could they be shulkers that evolved to have legs and evolved to survive in lava? Is that why they don't mind and that they would prefer the energy of the end and the enderman? Is that why? But aren't shulkers made by the players that lived in the end? Are endermen really players that lived in the end? If so, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know this is a little bit of a shorter one and I'm still trying to figure out how to make good videos. Thank you all so much for subscribing. If you do want to subscribe, it'll help so fucking much. It'll make you become an anomaly, and you can fly, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff if you subscribe. And if that doesn't happen to you, then you're just lying to me. You just haven't subscribed then. You won't know until you subscribe. Go on, subscribe. Do it, do it, do it, do it.